Okay, so this is apparently based on this document that I found in the attic along with this. When I made it, I called it The Book's Calling, apparently. So here's The Book's Calling. I found it in my attic today. I was just rotting away there. And yeah, I'm going to try to go over it as an adult now, give a little critique on it, things that I could have done better. So, the short of the story is this is my first art competition piece that I entered, and I got into the MoMA, which is pretty cool. Worked on this for like a year, or at least a year, I would say. And quite literally, it is a book that a child, or I guess just a person, nondescript person, is just reading. I guess there's the theme of the magic or the world that you're discovering coming to life in the eyes of reading it. And as an adult, when I'm looking at that, maybe I'm just a cynic now, but it just seems a little overdone, you know? Like, it seems childish, which I guess is appropriate for basically a child, 8th grade into ninth grade. You're basically still a child. And the subject matter of like books being interesting and diverse and or just cool, right? I get a sense of like, oh, these are cool things. It's a little childish, but it's hopeful. Nothing wrong with that, I think. It's not the kind of subject matter that I feel like I would be doing nowadays as like an adult, which is good or bad. Maybe I shouldn't be hesitant or reticent to do something like that. Let's talk about some critiques that I can give. Starting out with some good points, right? Just to establish this kind of light, coming from the book, right? Emanating from it and like this shadow that comes out gets a nice sense of light, Like, oh, this is like the bright spot coming from it. And this excuses like the flatness in the background and the hair in the back of the shoulder. And that's fine. I think that can be a technical choice. But I don't think it excuses something like this, right? The hand. Like, if this was done well, why was this done so poorly? Which is fine. It's in the corner. It's not as bad. But I think that would have been nice to have a bit of framework to, like, close off this box or this book to make it more in space, so to say. The juxtaposition, right, of like the color. This is mixed media. So the color from the characters coming from the book popping out in a different dimension, in this case color, I think is actually pretty nice. The technical skill in these mediums, I think, is not the best. Some are better, much better than others. There's some novel ideas and it's emotive, which is honestly more than you can really ask, I think, out of something so early in someone's career. But I see like some mastery in like a pencil. This looks like shit to me. That looks like shit to me. But like there's some parts where it's like, oh, okay, it's pretty good. And it's excusable by the lighting, honestly. I think it nowadays, as someone that's older, like should be held at a higher standard, of course. And I really wish that there was some more dimensionality in the books, and it just looks pretty flat, which is a not a bad thing if it's in the background. Honestly, it brings the more important stuff in the composition to the foreground, which is good. But it just looks like I spent a year on this, really? Like, come on. I don't know. It was my first one, so maybe I'm being too hard. But if I didn't know that, if I were to just see this on the walls of MoMA, not that I actually did that, but if I were walking through and I saw this, I'd walk by and be like, oh, that's a nice idea. And then just never think about it again, honestly. I think it's a nice piece, I think. I'm proud of it, but to be held at such high regard, I think is just honestly sort of weird. I like that one. This part I actually like. But there's so much of it that looks so amateur. There's no dimensionality. Like the same value and like idea of value and contrast and depth, I just is lost in all of these. It's just like clearly a lack of mastery in this other medium. But it does serve a purpose here, which is nice. Which is nice. I think overall it did a good job in using it in conjunction with the pencil and everything else. There's just like the lighting here. Like if the lighting is applying here from the book and emanating from it and like casting the shadow on the hand, like this treatment of the lighting from the book is just lazy, I feel like, right? It's just not considered. Like how is the light from the pages going to come to the table right there? There's even a glow here, right? If there's a glow here, then shouldn't there be some kind of glow here in some part? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of parts that I think are pretty lazy in here that if I did it now, I'd probably make it hopefully a lot better. But this is the way art is. Anyway, this is the book's calling. Hope you liked it.